Greetings, Tarnished. It has been a while since I've seen you in these parts. I see you have been busy. The end is near, isn't it? The end of your long journey. Are you lonely, Tarnished? I know you have had a presence at your side when I met you, but I no longer sense it. I guess journeys like yours lead to meeting friends and foes, but also to part ways with most of them when the time comes. I wonder what the people you met are doing now that the world is ablaze. Thank you for coming back here one last time and talking to me. I knew from our first meeting, you would be the one to induce change in this dear land. Go forth, my lord. We both know there's no going back now. I'll be cheering for you from here, as you ascend the throne of Elden Lord. Hello there, it's me Lulu. I beat Elden Ring recently. I made my way to the end of the game. I took a break of a few months between when I last stopped and I restarted. And then I finished the game. And here's what I did. I made my way down the Alec tree actually, because that is where I stopped last. I fought a knight and stopped at its save point. So I had the rest of the way down to the base, the roots of the tree to go to. The Alec tree, a bit of a hidden area you need to do to collect a few items to get there. It's very much optional. So I made my way down it. I fought knights. I fought a big spewy monster, really, like an avatar of the tree that was corrupted per se by the scarlet rot. And at the base of the tree I visited a bit, and there was really some annoying monsters, these disgusting multi-limbed crawling abominations. I don't like them at all. They're scary, they make these horrifying sounds, and they hurt me a lot, and there's a lot of them down here. So I kind of like visited. Thankfully I had my summon, my mimic tier summon, which is the best summon of the game by far for me. I didn't really try other summons, actually. I'm mainly used to the Mimic tier, and I just love it. Mimic tier, mimicking your character, it's the best thing ever. I love it. A bit further down at the Alec tree, there's a gate to enter a building, protected by an avatar of the Earth tree, as well as a few knights of the Alec tree. Knights that have a ton of health actually, not the small grunts that you see most of the time. That is not true. These knights kick ass, and they kicked my ass. Oh, I see. Oh, we're going to do that. Just 2-on-1, yeah. Just nice. Okay, these are a bit tougher than expected. These knights are bitches. I didn't defeat the avatar of the tree on the night. I chose to bypass them because I just wanted to see what was down this tree. I just wanted to finish the game at that point. So whoop, I went past further down the Alec tree. So after making past the huge scarlet rot waterfall that was flowing down this tree, and bypassing all these insectoids, humanoids that just have the most annoying ranged attack that is not that bad to dodge, but it still sucks. Well, I made my way to a sort of church or chapel, and further inside I went, down an elevator that brought me to a huge red flower. And I thought, whoa, that is pretty. That's big red flower, but further ahead, there was someone waiting for me that I kind of expected to find there, because I searched for Malinia in Caelid a long time during my playthrough, and I couldn't find her there, even though a crone said, oh yes, you know, there's the festival at the south, and at the east there's a big flower, and I thought, oh shit, Malinia is there, but she wasn't. She was actually down here in the Alec tree. So I went down here, and I found her. She's right here. And now it was time for the boss fight that some people qualify as the hardest in the game. Ouch. You know what? That might be a toughie. Oh, did you try? Oh, you did try to hurt me. Ouch. Ouch. You know, she's a bit of a toughie, huh? But it's fine, I just need to dodge a lot. Oh, hello. What the fuck was that? Okay, how the fuck do you dodge this? I do really like her character design. I like her golden armor, and I still wonder to this day how she can make this prosthetic move like this. Because, well, there's nothing in it, but she moves it like a real limb, and that's pretty cool. My build is kind of simple actually. I have a dual wielding greatsword build, full strength, and I jump and I do jump attacks mainly. I'm the Super Mario of the Elden Ring world. I jump and I attack. It's a one button kind of deal, and it's really boring by now, but it worked pretty effectively against many enemies I've seen. So it took a while to defeat Malinia. She kind of kicked my ass. I do understand why she's difficult, but the thing is, like, I had my precious summon. The Mimic Tear saved my ass so many times during that fight, because my summon tanked her most fearsome attacks, like this water dance kind of move. It was really difficult to dodge and very deadly. My Mimic Tear tanked it all, but she still kicked my ass. Until a fateful run. I can do it. I just need to learn how to dodge. Two, three. Two, three. Two, would it be a third hit? No, doesn't seem like it. Ah, this is working in my favor, isn't it? Okay, I'm so happy that she does that on my summon, and not on me. Because this is such a terrible attack. Okay, just corner her. Just that was very dirty. Now I got the Sky Trout. It costs her health to like attack like this. God. Just go spam her. Holy shit. Okay, that's not on me, that's good. She's almost dead though. Okay, safe to run. Oh my god. I just destroyed her. And during this fateful run, I got really lucky actually. Because me and my summon were just ganking her. Just jumping and slashing and jumping and slashing and jumping and slashing. And she kept getting staggered and she died. she got owned by my simpleton builder. It was kind of cool, but at the same time I felt kind of cheap, maybe because I used my summon, but it is not cheating, it is in the game. And I was pretty high level actually, you know, with pretty good equipment. So in the end, she did kick my ass. but I really kicked her ass this time. So after this, I decided to continue the mandatory progression of the game, which is to climb up the mountain to get to the Forge of the Giants. So I made my way up. Oh, what's this? Fire kind of elements, people and monsters. Oh, well, I go in and defeat everyone, you know, and I find stuff that I don't need. And then I end up on kind of like the area where all the giants are, and everything is big there. There's big walls, there's big crows, there's big hands. And of course there's giants. And it was the boss. The fire giant. A big boy with like, you know, a sort of big eye on his belly mid-fight. That guy actually was pretty rough. I wonder if he wasn't rougher for me than Malenia in a way. But I did my best. I figured out that you need to attack his leg. In a way, my summon wasn't really super helpful in this fight because this fire giant is much more mobile than smaller creatures that I've fought in the past. But we attacked his leg, which was pretty obviously kept together with a piece of wood. And once you attack that piece of wood, his leg kind of breaks. And you know, it's Elden Ring, so what do bosses do once you hurt their limb? Well, they tear it off. Because they will never have video games to play where they need both hands, or I guess with one foot you can still play, except maybe these pedal racing arcade games. You know, I was like surprised, oh my god, his belly is another creature. What the fuck? You know, through lore videos now I understand that this guy, he has an outer god inside his body, and that's the eye and mouth on his belly. Otherwise they don't have that. They're normally anatomically similar creatures to humans, with a head, 4 limbs, and no mouth belly. There was an outer god here, and we kind of slaved it. Bye-bye, I guess. The last fire giant has been wrecked, and nothing stands in my way to get to the Forge of the Giants now. So I made my way there. I climbed the chains up to the forge, and I died because I fell down in a place I thought I could fall down to. But it wasn't the case. I made my way up again to the chain, up there. And then I arrived at the point of no return. Malenia, which, by the way, it's still confusing to me. There's Malenia, which is the road goddess, and there's Malenia, which is my precious maiden, right? But I feel like I'm actually still confusing the names because they are so similar. I'm doing this on the top of my head, so don't blame me. It's been a few days. And that was the point of no return. I got a bit sad. She got on fire to burn the earth tree, and I was kind of sad because it was like, oh, I'm never going to see her again. She's gone. No, my precious companion. I did like her. I did like the way she was talking. She had this soft way of talking, and I like when people talk softly because it triggers my ASMR. So I kind of liked. I liked her a lot, but now she's gone. She became the flame of hope for the future of this world, and she burnt down the tree. Which still refused to re-caught on fire, by the way. And that's the next point that we're going to visit. My character, of course, like fell asleep and wakes up in another area. I thought by that point that I was going to just go to the archery and finish the game. But no, there's actually yet another area that you need to visit in order to accomplish this. This new place that is floating in the sky, ruined, which is absolutely filled with deadly tornadoes and dragons. I have seen it. I visited it. I made my way through it. It brought a lot of anxiety to me because the tornadoes are kind of scary, to be honest. I don't really like tornadoes. They bring a lot of anxiety, and so you have this big tornado in the middle of these ruins that is really very close to you. It's very impressive, a very good set piece. So I made my way through it. I defeat everything that comes in my path with my deadly Mario attacks. A few dragons that I slay thanks to my mimics here, that is still my best friend to this point. I might not have my maiden anymore, but I still have myself. I like myself. I would kiss myself. And you know, this place is much bigger than I expected, for the simple reason that it's huge. There's a lot of enemies. There's these kind of like beasts, humanoids, enemies, there's zombies, skeletons that want to kill you, and there's lots of soldiers, knights, also a bit further in. And also you have to fight a few Godskin kind of enemies. I really hate these Godskin enemies because they're really tough, but I made my way through them, and there were a few more dragons and optional paths with lots of deadly worm monsters. There was one Crucible Knight that I fought, and I thought, oh my god, he's going to kick my ass because it's been a long time since I played. But it turns out I kicked his ass this time. It wasn't that bad compared to previous ones that I had to fight, especially at the Redmane Castle. That was in Caelid when I started the game, and I made my way to Caelid when I was under-leveled and under-prepared, and I beat him and beast soldier at the same time because I'm so cool. And making my way further in, I found, well, almost the end of that place. There's probably a few areas that I didn't visit in this ruined flying capital, but I made my way to the mandatory path where a mounted dragon knight was waiting for me and who kicked my ass a few times because he's so cool and so strong and such a bitch. And I went and defeated him. I dodged and I did my best jump attacks and I slashed him with my great swords and he fell down. And after a few tries of learning kind of like what his attack looked like to dodge them, I pierced him with the sword of heaven. Or maybe just my weapon does some holy attack in his special kind of like move. So I did it and I hurt him and he fell down and he died. And so I made my way to the end, to Maliketh of the Black Blade, because he's so cool. It's actually the clergy beast that you find in Caelid to exchange some death roots for special beast spells, when it turns out it was him all along and he's here. Oh, you're fucking with me. Oh yeah, he was waiting for me. And you know, he was bad, he hurt me. He was really cool, by the way. A really cool sword that he has in his second phase. But the first phase is not too bad, but when he starts unbounding death, using death for his purpose, well, he gets kind of a lot more complicated. But thanks to my Mimic Tear, I beat him. Unfortunately, my Mimic Tear died, so I had to finish him on my own, which I'm not used to doing because I'm used to my Mimic Tear doing all the work for me, which wasn't the case this time. So my Mimic Tear hurts him, and then I finished the job through healing and dying a few times, and then I beat him through pure, well, headbutting against this wall. So I did it, and then death got abound, and the great earth tree is burning. Time to finish the game, right? When I arrived at Lindell, which got covered in a lot of ashes. So, well, can't revisit it anymore how it was before, because now it's a bath of ash. The world really changes as you progress through the game. When you defeat Radagon and this meteor hits, and kind of like opens a big hole in Limgrave, and when Lindell gets completely covered in the burnt earth tree residue, that was kind of cool. I was going to go to the burning earth tree, but then I find this hole that leads to the sewers of Lindell, where there's a few accursed enemies with big weapons. You know, I'm like, oh my god, this place actually opened. It wasn't open before you go there, before you burn the earth tree. It wasn't open. Well, no, it was open, and I made my way there, and I beat some enemies and crawled in dirty sewers where there were a lot of snails and slugs, and it was disgusting. It was a very disgusting place in the first place. Another area with one of these crawling abominations that just sucks, and I beat it and I get lost in there. I found some catacombs. I progressed through these catacombs because I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that before I finish the game. But what's funny is that I do not finish the catacombs because I get lost. I do not find the lever to open the boss room. I just kind of like get lost, confused, because it seems to repeat itself. The layout, it's confusing. I will need to go back there at one point to finish it, because I didn't, because I just blew my mind. I just got lost. I couldn't finish it. It was kind of scary in a way. I don't know what was waiting for me, except more accursed beings with their big swords and big cleavers and insanity. So I leave the place, I make my way out, and then I go towards the burning earth tree. But not before doing a one last trip to the round table to upgrade my weapons, and the round table hold is on fire. It's burning because it's linked to the earth tree, obviously. And, well, my favorite spirit, is there, still willing to do the job, but telling me that Hugh, my favorite blacksmith, he lost his memories. He doesn't remember anything, except that he's a blacksmith. It's kind of sad, actually, because he's there, he doesn't want to leave, even though he's free now. He's not chained to the round table hold anymore, but he lost his wits. His adopted daughter, pretty much, is staying by his side. That's really sad for him. I wish he would leave the round table hold to live his life fully now that I'm going to become the Elden Lord and bring a new age of peace and, well, less insanity as to everything that's going on in this world right now. I leave to Lindale again, and then up the path to the burning earth tree, where Sir Gideon Ofnir is wanting to stop me because, well, he's following a greater will. But that guy, he didn't really last long, to be honest, because if Malenia was brought down by my jump attacks and my summon, well, he didn't really last 2 seconds. I jumped and I slashed him and he went down the toilet. My poor guy, he really wanted to fight me, but he ended up being made a bit of a clown of. Well, I ganked him. And now he's dead. And then I made my way further, and Sir Godfrey was waiting for me there at the entrance of the earth tree. He wanted to become Elden Lord again. And so Sir Godfrey, he was fine. He was a fine boss, but he was actually a bit simpler than I thought. He killed me a few times, sure, but compared to Malenia or Malikev, I had a bit less trouble with him. He was a bit of a simpler breed. Maybe because he was a warrior, a sort of like straight-minded individual who just wanted to kick my ass. But I thought that he was a bit finer, less difficult. That's at least the feeling I got in my heart. I thought it was a bit of an asshole move for him to just kill his lion kind of friend that was on his back, but he'd granted him a power-up, and I guess he really wanted this power-up to defeat me. But it did no good for him because I ended up beating him. Then he told me I was worthy of the crown. So I took him on his word and made my way inside the earth tree. Well, lo and behold, Queen Marika was there all along. You can see her hanging from a rune arc, actually, impaled by something, I don't know what. But she's kind of like not very whole anymore. But the rune arc cracks, and she falls down, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to fight Queen Marika. But truth be told, as you see from that shot, the hand grabs the hammer, right? And the boobies are gone, and Radagon of the Golden Order rises up, and I thought, wait, is Queen Marika and Radagon the same person? And I got confused, and from what I learned from lore, yes, they kind of are the same person, just 2 different minds, but they kind of fused at one point into one person. Just Marika is the female and Radagon is the male side. They ended up making babies with themselves. That's cool, right? So it's Radagon that wants to fight me, not Marika. Maybe because Radagon wants the Elden Ring to be restored. Which, by the way, Elden Ring is inside him. Pretty cool detail. Grants him a lot of power. So now I'm like, okay, final boss. I will fight Radagon. So I do my trusty jump attacks and we fight and we clash and I dodge the hammer swings and I think, oh, Radagon is really cool and the music is really cool too. And then I defeat Radagon. I'm like, yes! Finally, the last boss of the game has been slayed, I can go ahead and finish the game. Well, it turned out that no, that wasn't the end, because there was the Elden Beast that rose up from the ground using Radagon as a sword made out of bone and flesh. And a really cool set piece, by the way. You see other trees that are probably spread around the world of the Elden Ring. So the one that we fight, it's not the only one. We just slay one tree, but there's many others with maybe their own stories and their own golden orders. Sequel bait? But the Elden Beast, really cute creature, by the way. A very scary creature, kind of like kicks my ass. So I die a few times, realize that I have to fight Radagon again. To fight the Elden Beast again. It's kind of like a boss rush, you know, Godfrey, Radagon, and the Elden Beast. It's pretty intense. Obviously, my mimic here does its best to help me, and I'm very thankful for that. So I dodge, I slash, I get owned. And at one point, my summon dies during my last run of that boss, and I have to finish the creature on my own. Which I'm always scared of doing because I suck. So I have to dodge. And I thought I was going to die. Because... Come on, die before I die. No, Ouch. If I didn't have that much vigor in my body, I would have died. The light spears rained down upon me, removing a lot of my health, and then the Elden Beast smacks me down with the Radagon sword. Very little health left, I have to heal. Through pure desperation, I rush and I finish the beast. That was the last boss of the game. Marika's body is left in the middle of the tree, where we can interact, or we can interact with the ending that we worked towards through the game. I summoned Rani because I did her quest. A bit randomly, I will say. Through the game, I read online, oh, Rani, I'm like, what the fuck is a Rani? I never met a Rani. Apparently Rani is an NPC that you meet at the beginning of the game at the first church you can stop to at night. I never met her there, because I never stopped at the first church at night. So she never appeared there. So I never got the spirit summon, the bell summoning item from her. I got it from the round table hold merchant, the two old women that sell you items that you missed during your playthrough. I got it there because I never met Rani when I started the game. And I was like, what the fuck is Rani? And apparently I could meet her further in the game, so I did. And then I kind of like did her quest a bit randomly. I kind of just followed the path and her quest naturally progressed. The quests in this game are so easily missable. You could miss them so easily because items that you might need to complete them are just in a random corner of a toilet, and then you find the toilet randomly, but you might still miss the item. But I found the item. I finished the quest and I could summon her, and apparently I'm her husband now. A wife. Just consort. I'm Rani's consort and we start the Age of the Stars. And that's the ending I got. I like the moon. That's a beautiful moon, by the way. A really pretty set piece. I like it a lot. And that's how I finished my playthrough of Elden Ring. I finished with an ending that I didn't even remember that I unlocked, because it had been months until now, and I didn't know where it was going to go. So I did not become an Elden Lord myself. I let Rani do the job, and I'm just going to be her knight. And I think that's alright, I will say. I like Rani, she has many hands. That's cool, I guess. And well, is it really the end of Elden Ring? It is not the end. It is never the end. You know why? Because Elden Ring never finishes. There's a fuck ton of things I still need to do before I even consider starting a new game plus. I need to try to find some more optional bosses to finish the catacombs in the sewers of Lindale. But that is not all. Apparently, I somehow missed Morg, who is also an omen, an accursed omen, just like Morgoth. I apparently missed Morg somehow, even though I did my best exploring everywhere. So I will need to find him, because apparently he holds the entrance of the DLC, and I will play the DLC. I will do a long play of the DLC, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else the Land of Shadow, will have to offer me. So how did you like Elden Ring? How did your playthrough go? Did you enjoy the game? Any favorite parts? Do you have criticisms about the game? For my part, I really enjoyed it, and I have very, very little criticism over it. Like, and to be honest, it was pretty much what I would call a perfect game. I think the one thing that I might criticize is the performance, the stutters that you might find when you find something new, and the fact that the game is stuck at 60 FPS. But otherwise, as a game, it might be one of the best games of all time. It is just so good, with so much to find and do, and so much replayability. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you for the next video. Cheers!